Guys, this is Mohit. I'm the co-founder and group CTO of InMobi, and I'm here chatting with InMobi Marketing Cloud CTO Prasanna. And the idea is to basically give you, our thoughts on how do we see InMobi technology and why this should be one of the choice for any prospective candidate out there. So we'll be just talking about some of that. Prasanna, over to you.
Hey everyone. Thank you, Mohit, for the introduction. As Mohit described, I head the technology team for InMobi's Marketing Cloud. Been at InMobi for about close to 7 years now. Since 2015, and I've truly cherished every single moment that I've spent at InMobi. We'd love to share some of that. We'd love to share some of those experiences today. Mohit, the first question I've always had for you. Every time I speak to you, you have so much energy, so much passion. Some of it, of course, comes with being a co-founder of the company. But how would you summarize your journey? It's been nearly 15 years since you founded InMobi. How would you summarize your journey, with InMobi?
I think, since we are addressing the engineers and we all are engineers over here. So as you know, the energy comes from the motion. We all know potential and kinetic, and I can really apply same theory over here. The only reason you will lose energy in an organization where stagnation starts, when we really stop growing, when we really stop innovating, or when we really stop doing the new thing. And if you think the journey about InMobi, and if I take even in my case, every day I go to office, I see some new people and new stuff happening, and where we have come in last 12 to 15 years is just remarkable. And so what is very exciting for me, and why I keep excited, is basically I think this is for me also one of the best period of my life where I have continuously learned something new. Every year we have handled better and bigger problem, and we have came up with solution to address those, whether it's a big data, high performance distributed, and most recent conversation that me and you are having around blockchain and NFT. So anything that out there, marketing is an area which is quite vast, and we cover the entire spectrum. So I think we have it, and we really invest in it. So there's a lot of learning, and same goes for me. I learned from you guys.
Yeah, no, I think I've been with InMobi for about half that journey, Mohit, and frankly, the kind of leadership lessons that I have learned at InMobi every single day makes me uncomfortable. Every single day is a challenge, of its own kind, and that is what really kind of makes me want to, wake up and come to work every single day. I just think it's the most unique experience that I have had in my career. So thank you to you and the rest of the founding team for building such a wonderful company.
No, I mean, I think it's all a collective game, and that's why I feel so confident that we have together created an environment where learning is paramount, and it is the most important factor that we all care about.
Yeah. So Mohit, I have a follow-up question to to your own personal experience. We are obviously out there in a crazy market right now, trying to compete for the best of talent. We obviously believe that, we have the kind of problems that will excite the best of engineers out there in the market. What do you think it is about InMobi that people should consider, before they join? Why does the great engineer have to consider InMobi as a potential job option? And what is it that you would say to those people who are looking at InMobi as a prospect?
So I think when I see InMobi journey, and when I see how we are placed, or what our spot is in the universe, it's quite unique. I would still say we are one of the very few company who are literally product and tech driven. If you see our history, basically, we were even born when we had competitors like Facebook, Google, and all these things, and these were not just the unicorns. They were already $100 billion business when we basically stepped into this mobile marketing world. So the first thing is basically right from day one, we had no mercy on how we need to build our system and how we needed to operate in that world. So if you are up against with these guys, you better be good, otherwise you'll be dead in less than 6 months. Other thing is basically why I so strongly believe our innovation and the core strength is this is literally our 15th year running. If you don't have a fundamental strength and if you don't have a fundamental fight in the game, there's no way you can compete out there in the world. And right now we are not even talking Facebook and Google. They are still a very big one. Now you have even some new age media company as well. Instagram and Pinterest, LinkedIn, Microsoft. Everyone is jumping over there, and even mobile advertising is just going through such a big revolution. You have OTTs out there, you have CTV out there. TV media, everything is changing and sort of converging. So I think one belief on one strength that I carry every day is that we must have done some fundamental right. Our focus on the technology and innovation had been always to the bank, so that we have not only survived but we have really thrived, and we have a huge global presence. Some of the things that we were able to do quite fast comparing our size was, like within third or fourth year of our foundation, we spread our business to global level, and we created data center almost at every continent. That was one of the first thing that was expected from a company from that size and that part of the world. Not only that, if you see today, I think we are one of the very few companies who have a very big installation all the way from GCP to Azure to AWS. This brings a lot of complexity into the system, but we do it day in, day out. Not only that, we even have a big Ali Cloud installation as well. We run a very successful business in China as well. So even when you compare with the biggies of out there, I mean Google, Yahoo, they all are out of China. I mean, it was not easy to run that business. So you really can't take all these things for granted, and we have many unique features among us. Every technology company that we talk about, whether the technologies we use, we are quite strong in our own proprietary software as well. People can go check out on the Apache and open source. Pretty much we have contributed everything that we use, and to this date, I think when we work with Microsoft, Google, and Amazon, you keep hearing every day with them that we definitely come in one of the top tier of customer who keeps them really challenged, or rather on toes in their own offering. So I think innovation and technology is in our blood, and as long as we have these two ingredient, I think we'll continue to grow and we'll continue to thrive no matter how hard the competition is out there.
No, thanks, Mohit. I think that's well articulated. The last question I have for you, Mohit, today is, beyond the kind of challenges that we see on a daily basis, InMobi is a phenomenally people-first company, right? I think I was told about the 3P philosophy when I joined, in terms of putting people above product and profit, and I actually see that being applied by each of you on a near daily basis, where people are at the center of decisions. People are paramount when it comes to taking the most important decisions for the company. Tell me a bit more about it's not easy putting people above profit and product, right? But yet it's something that InMobi does beautifully and has consistently done over time. Just tell me a bit more about how you made that choice as a founder, and how do you live up to it every day?
I think right from the day one, we almost everyone has heard the story or felt it. One thing that is most frustrating for most of the employee and people is, and I'm not talking about it works. It work, or take any circumstances, whether it's a school, college, or even your family or home. It's very hard to live with people that you don't get along. It's very hard to people who are not invested in you. It's very hard to people who are always trying to put you down. I mean, so this is a universal law, and especially when you are working on a tough problem, you are doing a startup, especially earlier, and I would say a company like us where you are always trying to do more every year subsequently. I think the only biggest asset anyone can have is your people.
Yeah.
And I cannot think of any other bigger stupidity than not to invest in them and do something else. I think it's, to be honest, in my opinion, as a founder or the custodian of the culture or anything, that the most important job that I see today that we all should be playing and what we play is really how to grow our people. And if you see, I think that's where most of us, me, Abhay, Naveen, Piyush, everyone works over there, because pretty much I think I'm confident, every engineer is more competent, more worthy and smarter than me. I think it's almost 15 years, or it's almost like 12 years, or maybe 13 years when my last line of code ended at InMobi. And the simple reason was, I always believed in hiring better person than me, because as soon as you bring someone better than you, the bar of overall team goes up. And the learning that we were talking about previously, when you're talking about the energy and innovation, it's a virtuous cycle.
Yeah.
As soon as you get the new person, he brings a lot of new thinking, and it forces other 5-6 people who might be getting to a stagnant point, or rather maybe started to have a tunnel vision. It shakes everything up, and then all of a sudden you have 6 people thinking in a new direction. So for me, recruitment is a very exciting event, and it's actually a mandatory event for the company. No matter what is happening, we should all be, in InMobi, we have always been in hiring mode. And so many times, I think you have worked with me. Sometimes we see someone, we meet someone,
Yeah.
and we don't have a position, and we go back and create that, because we like that guy, and we know that if we get it, and I know me and you have talked about one such thing this week itself. So I think this is really the what I say, the example of putting your money where your words are. You really walk the talk. So we do think that the longevity and the success of a company depends on people, and then once you have that vision very clear, it's no rocket science that you would do anything to invest in them. And as long as they are growing, as long as they are excited, and as long as they feel connected with the company vision and its people, I think that is what the most important part, and the way to grow the company. So that's really how I would put this part.
No, thanks, Mohit. I mean, you've summarized every InMobian's journey, and I think I'm sure a lot of InMobians have that question on how do you build a company like this. A lot of InMobians end up being entrepreneurs themselves. I think InMobi has a very high rate of creating entrepreneurs for the market. So I think some of the wisdom that we get interacting with people like you will last with us forever. So thank you so much for sharing this with us.
So actually, now since we are talking this, I think I think it will be very useful for the people to know a little bit more in depth and details into what we are talking about. So I have two questions for you as well, Prasanna. So I think in last 1.5 years, we have made a huge shift. Really, we have transformed our tech organization. So I would love you to share with people, what is really your tech vision, and what is the direction where you want to take this forward, so that our spirit of innovation and the speed and execution stays the way it is, or even improves beyond this point.
Yeah, I think when I was given this responsibility, Mohit, the first thing that I tried to do was create a mission statement that can guide the organization through this journey, right? I think we are obviously living in a very tough market. As you described, hiring talent is hard, retaining talent is hard, and yet it is important to provide a sense of purpose to every single engineer who works for InMobi, and every engineer who works for InMobi has the choice of working for any other company out there, right? I think we hire the best of people, and those people can get into any company that they want. So the most important milestone that I felt you and I both collectively established in this journey was publishing that mission statement. But in a succinct manner, our vision statement really says that we as an engineering org, we want to provide for a consistent and continuous delivery of fully autonomous products on the cloud. Right? I think there's obviously a lot of words out there, but some of the key callouts are, how do we build software in a consistent manner? AdTech is a very competitive space. How do we kind of build software of the highest quality, with the highest regard to compliance and laws and jurisdictions? How do we build software on a continuous basis, right? I think InMobi is obviously growing both from a business perspective as well as an organizational perspective. And what we don't want is, we don't want the size of our organization to kind of slow us down, right? If anything, we want the organization to grow and the velocity of releasing software to grow. So there are a lot of best practices, that go into allowing a large-scale distributed organization to be, to be productive, and that is front and center, to the mission statement. And then comes building fully autonomous products on the cloud, right? I think, we are in an age where if you're not innovating on technology, if you're not, leveraging cutting-edge machine learning algorithms, you're probably not going to survive, too long. And I think, you've been a champion of this, yourself, Mohit, and I'm personally a huge advocate of ensuring that, we build systems that are self-learning, and we build systems that are fully autonomous and on the cloud, right? I think, we want to make sure that every single engineer at InMobi is working on problems that can take the business to a completely different orbit of success. And how do we do all of this while fostering a growth culture? You touched upon this in the earlier part of the conversation, which is, I think we will succeed a lot, but we will also fail a lot, right? I think given the number of bets that we are taking as an organization, there will be successes, there will be failures, but how do we do this while fostering a growth culture? How do we ensure that, whether we are succeeding, whether we are failing, we are actually learning in this journey, and how do we each become better versions of ourselves, compared to yesterday? So that's really, the mission statement that, we are trying to, drive forward as an organization.
No, I think excellent. I think, very well said. But, then I have a leading question as well, and I think this is quite important. So having a mission, that summarize, the whole philosophy is always a good thing, but sometimes I do feel, it remains at a very high level. So what was quite interesting for me is, when you really, diluted this into key tenet and what you call operating principle, and I think that was one of the single biggest thing that I saw. It really helped every engineers really to be part of it and be associated with the mission, because they were able to understand it. So I would ask you to cover some of those, the principal point that you made while achieving or looking up to the Uber mission.
Yeah, I think having a well-defined mission statement is the start of the journey. But end of the day, you need to create a certain culture that serves as a guiding principle for every single engineer in the organization. InMobi as a company is obviously expanding rapidly. We are acquiring a lot of companies. We are hiring in diverse markets, and a lot of this is very different from how we have grown historically in the past as a company that was headquartered and growing largely in India. So with the kind of diverse employee base that we were growing both organically and inorganically, what I felt was important to accomplish was a common operating language, where people might have different experience, people might have different skill sets, but there needs to be a set of principles that kind of bind them together, and there needs to be a set of principles that allow us to take the technology organization forward in a consistent manner towards the mission that we just spoke of. That is where the operating principles got established, right? I think a bunch of us in the leadership team sat together. We kind of racked our brains for close to a month and a half, brainstormed on what are the key principles that we will stand by irrespective of what kind of adversity hits us, and we actually narrowed down on 10 operating principles. So right now we have 10 operating principles that that has kind of become a day-to-day language for everybody in the organization. We talk about it, we debate about it, we take decisions based on operating principles. We use it for breaking ties when there is conflict. We use it in hiring, we use it in new hire orientation, we use it during appraisal of people end of the year. So if you are an engineer at InMobi, and if you are going to be a successful engineer at InMobi, you will live and die by the operating principles, right? I think that is one thing that we as the leadership team are aspired to continuing to grow. And we believe that if every single engineer abides by the operating principles, InMobi as a technology organization and InMobi as a company, will reach newer heights. So that's where the operating principles was born from, Mohit.
And I think one most interesting point, I guess, I will just add over here is the fact that these operating principles, they came from the bottoms up. So the motivation is right at the node level. Nothing is going pushed downward. The team decided it. The team decided to live by it. So to me, it's one of the very big sign of having a thriving engineering culture where people are empowered to basically associate or connect themselves with the larger goal and define what does that mean for them. So with that, I do think I hope people must have received a good glimpse of how we operate, what are the key tenets of our culture and our philosophy on the people side. And like I said, we are always, at the cusp of cutting edge work. So I hope this session will be useful for anyone who is seeing.
Thank you, Mohit. It's always wonderful, chatting with you. And as you said, I hope this is a good preview of what it means to work at InMobi and what it means to be a part of this fascinating journey that InMobi is undertaking at this moment. So thank you for your time.
Great.